Imagine this. A misty summer morning, very still, but you can just feel the tension.
Yeah.
Two men, really titans of early America, standing just paces apart, pistols ready.
Sounds like something from a movie, doesn't it?
Exactly. But it was real, a huge moment in American history. Today we're doing a deep dive into, well, probably one of the most famous, most tragic conflicts ever, the duel between Aaron Burr and Alexander Hamilton.
That fateful morning.
Right. And our mission here is to really understand not just the duel itself, but the long backstory, the rivalry that built up to it.
A decade of bad blood.
Yeah, and then the actual encounter, and maybe most importantly, the massive impact it had on them, their legacies, and, the country.
And we're drawing heavily on a really good piece called the Burr-Hamilton Duel.
Yeah.
A clash of ambition from history in 5 minutes or less.
It lays it out well.
It really does. Okay, so let's get into it. Summer 1804, you got Aaron Burr, who's actually the sitting vice president at the time.
Right. High office. And Alexander Hamilton, former Treasury Secretary, a huge figure, a founding father. Their rivalry wasn't new, was it? It had been going on for, over 10 years by then.
Oh, easily. And it wasn't just, like, political disagreements over policy.
No. What was it then?
Well, our source really points us that it was deeper. It was almost a clash of personalities, of course, but also fundamental visions for what America should be.
Okay.
They saw each other as genuinely dangerous to the country's future, especially Hamilton towards Burr.
How so?
Hamilton seemed almost, obsessed with stopping Burr. He constantly worked behind the scenes, and publicly, too, to block Burr's political path.
Really? He'd denounce him openly.
Yeah, the article mentions Hamilton calling Burr a dangerous man.
Yeah.
Said he was someone who ought not to be trusted with the reins of government. Pretty strong words.
Wow, that's definitely personal. So after all those years of this simmering hostility, what finally made it boil over? Was there one specific thing?
There was. The immediate trigger, according to the article, was actually a newspaper report.
Oh.
Yeah, it published an account of a dinner party where Hamilton had supposedly called Burr despicable.
Oof, despicable.
Oh.
That's harsh, especially then.
Exactly. In that era, a gentleman's honor was everything. And for Burr, having that kind of insult printed, supposedly said by Hamilton, well, he felt he had to act.
So he demanded an apology.
He demanded a retraction, an explanation. But Hamilton, being Hamilton, sort of dug in his heels. He refused.
He wouldn't back down.
No. And in their world, among men of that standing, that refusal basically left Burr, in his mind, with only one option to restore his honor.
The duel.
The duel, a formal challenge.
And this is where it gets, really cloak and dagger, right? These things weren't exactly public events.
Not at all. Highly secretive and technically illegal. Dueling was outlawed in both New York, where they lived, and New Jersey.
But they still did it.
Well, the enforcement in New Jersey was known to be much more lax. It was kind of the unofficial spot for these affairs of honor.
Convenient.
Sort of grimly convenient, yeah. So really early, on July 11th, 1804, before dawn, Burr and Hamilton, each with their second.
They're kind of representative, right?
Exactly. The seconds handled negotiations, made sure the rules were followed, acted as witnesses. They rode separately across the Hudson River.
To where?
To the dueling grounds at Weehawken, New Jersey.
Weehawken. That rings a bell for Hamilton, doesn't it?
It does. Chillingly so. It's the exact same spot where Hamilton's own son, Philip, had been killed in a duel just 3 years earlier.
Oh my God, I forgot about that. He was going back there.
He was. You can only imagine what was going through his mind returning to that specific place for this, the weight of it.
That's incredible. So they get to Weehawken. What were the actual mechanics, the preparations for something this final?
Well, the article details it pretty clearly. The weapons were these big, heavy flintlock pistols.
Not like guns today.
No,
Yeah.
definitely not. And these were apparently modified with hair triggers. Very sensitive, required almost no pressure to fire.
Making it easier to shoot accurately? Or maybe accidentally?
Potentially both, yeah.
Yeah.
Very dangerous. The seconds laid out the rules. 10 paces apart. Stand back to back, walk the paces, turn.
No, wait. The article says they stood facing each other 10 paces apart.
Ah, you're right, facing each other, 10 paces. And then on signal, raise the pistols and fire at will.
At will. So not necessarily simultaneously.
Seems like it. Raise and fire when ready after the signal. It was a formal ritual, but designed for a deadly outcome.
So all this history, the tension, the secret trip, the specific tragic location, it all leads to this one moment. The shots are fired. What actually happened? Is it clear?
Well, that's the thing. Our source says the accounts get murky, clouded by who was loyal to whom.
Right, different size telling different stories.
Exactly. There are versions where Hamilton maybe fired first but intentionally missed, maybe shot into the air, or perhaps the hair trigger caused an accidental early shot that went wide.
He didn't want to kill Burr. Or just missed.
We don't know for sure. Some accounts suggest he felt morally opposed to dueling by that point, especially after his son.
Yeah.
But whatever the reason, his shot hit nothing. Just trees, morning mist.
Yeah, okay. And Burr?
Burr's action seems clearer in the accounts. He took aim, he fired.
And he didn't miss.
He didn't miss. The bullet hit Hamilton in the abdomen, went through his liver, and lodged near his spine. A mortal wound.
Devastating. Hamilton collapsed right away.
Almost immediately. And the source describes Burr's reaction,
Hmm?
or lack of it, seemingly unmoved as Hamilton fell.
Wow. Just watched him fall.
Apparently so. In that second, everything changed. For both of them and for the country.
It really is staggering.
Yeah.
So, okay, what did it all mean then? What happened right after, and how did this shape their futures, their legacies?
Well, Hamilton was quickly rowed back to New York. He lingered in terrible pain for over a day.
Oh, awful.
Yeah, about 31 hours before he finally died. And his death just sent shockwaves everywhere.
People were horrified.
Absolutely. Huge public mourning. He was buried with major honors. Remembered as a patriot, a war hero, the guy who basically built America's financial system.
Yeah.
His death, in a way, almost cemented that heroic legacy.
And Burr, what happened to the man who fired the shot?
A completely different path. He instantly became a political pariah, an outcast.
Weren't there charges? Murder charges?
Yes, in both New York and New Jersey. Though, interestingly, neither case actually went to trial. The charges were eventually dropped or quashed.
But his career was over.
Oh, completely finished, irrevocably. He spent years kind of drifting, involved in various increasingly wild schemes.
Like the plan to create his own empire out west?
Exactly. That bizarre episode led to him being tried for treason, though he was acquitted. But his reputation was just ruined. He's largely remembered now not for his own accomplishments, which were significant earlier in his career, but as the man who killed Alexander Hamilton.
It's just amazing how one event, one bullet, could create such totally opposite trajectories. What's the bigger picture takeaway here? The lasting impact of this feud?
Our source sums it up really well, I think. It calls the duel more than just a personal dispute.
Right. It represented something larger.
Yeah. A clash of ideologies, egos, and ambitions. It happened at a really fragile time for the young nation, and it absolutely shaped things going forward.
How so?
Well, Hamilton's vision, his ideas about a strong federal government, a central financial system, those ideas largely won out, didn't they? His face ends up on the $10 bill.
While Burr.
Burr fades, becomes almost a footnote, or worse, a cautionary tale, defined by that single act in Weehawken. The article's closing thought is powerful. That bullet didn't just end a life. It really did alter the course of American history.
It really makes you stop and think, doesn't it?
It absolutely does. You know, when you consider this moment, what does it tell us about how volatile things were back then? Ambition, honor, politics. It was all tangled up in such a dangerous way.
And maybe about how personal conflicts between powerful people can just spiral out and have these huge, unforeseen public consequences.
Exactly. What lessons are there for us today? You know, how much can personal animosity still shape public destiny? It's definitely something to mull over.